Will Johnson looks like a future All-Pro, the corner from Michigan. Now, Travis Hunter excluded because he is not specifically a cornerback, Ryan. Is he the best corner in the 2025 NFL draft? Because to me, he checks every single box. He checks the box that you're looking for in a prototypical elite defensive back in the NFL. Why wouldn't he be the top one selected in this class?
For me, he is still the top corner in this class, Joe, but I think the more I think about it and kind of get deeper into his film with some other guys, I don't think it's by the...
Oh, no.
No. Just stay with me for a second. I don't think it's by the margin that I thought it was going to be before. So I still think he's the best corner, pure corner in this class, but I don't know, man. There's just... his injury and just kind of some of the deficiency he had because of the injury, combined with a couple guys kind of taking a step forward. Like, I do think that he is the best one, but I do think that it's a deeper conversation now because I don't think the gap's quite as large as what I thought it was going to be in the preseason.
So before we dig into like why he's so exciting as a prospect, I think you open up the important talking point now. I actually think Will Johnson could slide during this draft. I think that there's a chance that Will Johnson goes somewhere in the teens rather in the top 10. That shouldn't be the case because he is freaking rare at some of the things that he does. We'll talk about those strengths in a second. But for me, where that happens is what you just talked about. The injury that he suffered, him not finishing the season, and some just general slight deficiencies, maybe not having that premier long speed, probably going to be more of a 4-5 guy. Do you agree with me there that there could be a slide for Will Johnson?
I think it's possible. I mean, one, it depends on what you see of Travis Hunter positionally in this draft, because then I think if a top corner comes off the board, then there's a couple guys that might get pushed up a little bit. There's the wide receiver run that could potentially happen. There's different runs, I think, potentially edge, offensive line, like who knows what that's going to happen in the top 10. So I think a slide could happen, especially if he tests either at the combine or the pro day. And there's just a little bit of, I mean, you mentioned it. The long speed is going to be the conversation point to Will, because I don't think there's much more that you can super nitpick on. Like, that's the big conversation. But I do think that just in the context of this class, it wouldn't surprise me if he's out of the top 10. Now, we are seeing, though, some people, prominent people like Dane Brugler and Mel Kiper, that have consistently still had him in the top 10, even in the top 5 conversation in some points. So I don't think that he has a big chance to go in the top 10, but I wouldn't be necessarily shocked if there's a little bit of a slide.
What, though, to speak on what makes him such a great player, injury aside, overthink aside that's going to happen during this process, being as tall and as long as he is, coupled with the instincts, is what makes him super rare. A lot of times we'll have guys that are just these big, strong athletes that go out there, they play corner, they stick with guys really easily because they're feasting on lower level talent at receiver in the college game. But he was able to make some of the craziest plays on the football that I've seen from any corner prospect. He will decide what he's going to do before the ball is even released from a quarterback's hand. And he's not one of those guys that's out there guessing, because if he was guessing, there would be two sides on his film. There would be plays where he makes a game-breaking interception and then also a complete whiff that leads to a touchdown. Those whiffs don't happen. He makes the read. He knows what's coming. He jumps on the ball's out of the quarterback's hand, and then it's in his hands, or he's scoring a touchdown. That's where the rareness comes into play, and why I think that a lot of NFL teams should just not overthink this guy.
Well, he's a coach's dream because, one, some of the things that you always look for from the unteachable perspective is size, right? He's 6'2", over 200 pounds. The thing that makes him unique is that he's a short area quick guy, right? Like, he can change direction really well, which I think allows him to match up against different body types at outside as a corner against some varying wide receivers. But the other thing is, and this is a little bit oversold at some points, but he grew up in a football family. His dad played football at a major college level, and you could see it. Like, you could see the football IQ. You could see him breaking on certain things. You could see him being understanding what is developing in front of him from a pass game perspective. So I think that intelligence combined with that body type and the short area quickness and explosiveness and change of direction, that stuff is what makes him such a unique and such a talented football player.
Folks, let us know in the comments, what team do you want to see draft Will Johnson, and how good do you think he's going to be in the NFL? Make sure you also like and subscribe so you don't miss out on our coverage for the 2025 NFL Draft. We'll talk to you later.